Hi, and welcome to another episode of Two Limes and Lemon podcast. Today we're going home after 7 years in the slammer on a luxury flight with murderers, thieves, and rapists. So strap in, because we're about to take off on our discussion of Con Air. Are we having theme music? Like, how do we... Is it just start with us talking?
Yeah, Dave's gonna do us some, a jingle, I think.
Dave.
Nah.
Danielle.
Two Limes and a Lemon.
Hey, and welcome to the Two Limes and a Lemon podcast. Today I'm hosting. This is Danielle, and I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Natalie and Dave. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
So we're gonna jump off with how we usually do, with discussing or hearing what everybody's been consuming this week. This can be, movie, music, any kind of media, or even food if you so desire.
I have been watching the Netflix, I don't know if it's a mini-series, I assume it is, but it's called Untamed, and it has Eric Bana and Sam Neill, and it's about...
I haven't heard of this.
Oh, okay. I think it's new out. It was in, the newly added section. So they're, park rangers... at, I never know how to say this, Yosemite, I want to say, but it's is that how you, right. Okay. So they're park rangers, and they find, so it actually starts really well. There's these climbers that are scaling up this sheer cliff, and all of a sudden a girl falls over the edge and gets tangled in their climbing ropes, and it's a mystery of did she jump? Did somebody push her? And yeah, and it's just quite a good little murder mystery that's all set in lovely wilderness. And there's a few different stories with the different park rangers, but Eric Bana's the main one. He's kind of a gruff federal agent, basically, that's a park ranger. But yeah, it was good.
I love me some Sam Neill.
Oh yeah, me too. When I saw he was in it, that I'm gonna be honest, that was one of my draws to it. I was like, oh well, if Sam Neill's in it, it must be good.
Dave, are you ready?
I think so.
Do you want me to go? I can go.
No, I can go.
Ready.
I had a lovely roast dinner today. It was very nice. It had chicken.
Did you make it?
I did make it. We got it from a restaurant. We were walked around the same block
Do you want
3
to recommend
times.
the restaurant?
It's a pub restaurant. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. It's not a well-known one. I think it was just... Apparently it used to be a really rough area where people got stabbed and stuff. But they've remade it up and made it really nice again and flung all the bad people away. And now it's a
so
nice
they gentrified
area.
the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they're serving roast dinners.
And now serving roast dinners, and I really enjoyed it. It was great. We had lovely roast dinner. I had some roast potatoes. It was great. What's your favourite roasted vegetable?
Carrot.
Just a roasted carrot.
Yeah, roasted carrots.
I'm gonna go with parsnip.
Parsnips are
with
also
honey.
Good. That would be my second.
What about Danielle? What about you?
I don't know. That's not my normal way of cooking vegetables.
Picking which one you like the
U.S.
most?
We don't roast them that often. Probably broccoli. I think I probably roast the most.
Oh, broccoli? No, that makes
it.
It's really easy to
I like
burn
long
broccoli.
stem broccoli.
Oh, tender
the
stem.
top
Yeah.
bits.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it crispy. You put some olive oil, some Parmesan cheese on it. I started a new book yesterday that I'm really enjoying. It's called The Compound, and it was it shuffled through my brain to pick aspects of things that I really enjoy and threw them all into one book. So it's a reality show, but a horror, and all they had to do was put some musical theater in it, and that'd be perfect for me. And it's really itching my brain right now, because it's a Love Island style setup, but these people have all been sort of woken up on the set of this in this villa, and they all it's a show that they're all aware of, but they don't know how they've gotten there. And the men have had to spend 3 days getting through some sort of horrors in this desert to even get to there, and they have to do things, like perform tasks to get even the smallest luxuries. I'm enjoying it. It's like a weird mix. We're doing Con Air today, a 1997 film, starring Nick Cage as Cameron Poe, a ranger who, right after graduating from the academy, ends up accidentally killing a man while defending his wife in a bar fight, in a rainy bar fight. And
that mud, though, the mud, so much mud on that floor.
With Leanne Rimes playing in the background.
No. We'll get to that in a minute. It wasn't Leanne Rimes.
Oh, was it not?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. In my prep, I did have time to pick up on this. So the judge does not spare him because of his training, he is his body is considered a weapon or a killing machine, and he should have been able to control himself. And so he is given a 7 to 10 year sentence at like a maximum security prison, and for some reason does not get early release and does 8 years. And so we're joining, after a montage sequence, we're joining Cameron Poe on his last day when he's going to he's going to get to meet his daughter, who was in utero whenever he was put into jail, and see his wife. And he hasn't seen them in the 8 years because he didn't want his daughter to go into the prison and see him there. And so Cameron and his friend, whose name I didn't catch, are put on this flight, which I think is a real thing, but probably not like it is in this film, because the U.S. Marshals wanted nothing to do with this film to give any accuracy to it. So it's these this manslaughter. This guy who's gone away to manslaughter, put on this plane with like the biggest murderers and criminals in the country. The worst of the worst. And much like last week's film, it is star-packed. Can we go around and just say like what overall people thought of going into this film?
So I have never seen Con Air before. I have
never seen
Con Air before. I know that my dad used to have it on VHS, I believe, because I remember seeing the cover of it with Nicolas Cage's face. So I didn't really know what it was about, honestly. I didn't think he was going to be a convict. I thought he would have probably been one of like the police characters. But I it was all just new to me, basically. I didn't know who was in it until the like credits started coming up at the beginning, and I was like, oh, this is actually quite star-studded. But I mean, this is another film where me and Dave watched it together. And I think that if I hadn't watched it with Dave, my initial reaction would have been it probably wouldn't have been as good.
How about you, Dave?
I remember watching it. Well, not all of it, because I thought it ended just in that plain graveyard, but it continues. I was like, I swear this is the end, and it's like, no, we've got to go to Las Vegas now. But I thought it ended there, so my memory of the film was up and down. I remember Steve Buscemi being in it as Hannibal Lecter. And I remember, the virus guy.
Cyrus the Virus, John Malkovich.
Cyrus the Virus, John Malkovich. And I remember the man in the dress.
Oh,
yeah.
That was the only characters I remembered, really. So it was kind of like a first viewing again, watching it back. But we were watching it. I was like, is this the one where Steve Buscemi like has a rifle and shoots someone and saves someone from being killed? And then we had to look it up, and I was like, no, that's Billy Madison. Where we had to, like, whilst watching the film, we were watching like Billy Madison clips of Steve Buscemi put like lipstick on and stuff. And I was like, that's the wrong movie. But no, my first impressions of it was like, okay, big cast of different characters. They're all kind of like, everything's kind of times 10 of character traits. Everyone's like
overreacting
over the top, so like, this is the most dangerous person in the world.
But they do that with like every convict they bring on the plane. They're like, this is the most dangerous convict, and then they bring in like Steve Buscemi, and they're like, this is also the most dangerous convict.
So I picked this film, as I mentioned last week when we did Independence Day. Around this time, it's right after I was finishing up college, and I was more into sort of artsy indie film. And so I wasn't, I didn't go to see Independence Day in the theater, but for some reason, when I saw the trailer for this, I remember being so excited about this. I was like, this is insane looking. And me and my friend Eric, like, we were both like, yeah, and we like planned a whole outing to see, we were talking it up for weeks about like, we're going to see Con Air. And then we saw it, and it was, so that's like the special. I don't know if I've watched it since then, to be honest, but it has like
sitting in vest tops, like, yeah.
But it has like a special place in my heart because of that.
Yeah.
It's like a nice little memory. So we start off with our protagonist, Cameron Poe, graduating, and he's going to go to this bar that his wife works in, and the song that they would put up for nomination is this How Will I Live Without You song. And apparently there's a whole a whole history behind it. It's written by Diane Warren, who people who follow the Oscars will know, because she's like the most nominated songwriter from the Oscars, but I don't think she's won. And she writes all of these very sappy ballads. So she also did the one from Armageddon, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. She originally had Leanne Rimes perform it, who was 14 at the time. And then the studio heard it, and they thought that the words to the song were too mature for this little girl to sing. And so they had Trisha Yearwood re-record it for the movie. And that's the version they use in the movie. She's like a older country star. And then Diane Warren got word of this and like told Leanne Rimes and her team that this was happening. So they released the song on the same day. So the Leanne Rimes song, I think, became more popular, but the Trisha Yearwood was the one that was used in the film ultimately.
Ah, I didn't know that. But also, you're not seeing who's singing the song, so what does it matter if it's a 14-year-old? That's mad.
No, agree. And when I listened to that, I was like, oh, this sounds like one of these ballads that would win the Oscar. But no, this was the same year as Titanic, and so My Heart Will Go On won that year. Well,
sucks to be them.
Yeah.
They should have let Leanne Rimes do it.
Yeah, maybe. But it's very clear that they want to feature the song because, like, it's this moment and this, like, incredibly sappy ballad is playing as they kind of see each other across this bar, and he goes up to her.
Yeah.
And he's, like, talking to her stomach because she's going to have a baby, and all seems well, but it is not, because there are some ruffians that want to dance with his wife and won't let up, and then they go out and try to beat up Nicolas Cage in the parking lot.
I mean, they do. They, like, beat him round with their head with, like, a pole. They literally, like, kick the crap out of him. So that's why I was really shocked when they're like, no, you are going to jail. Because I'm like, would you rather I just died?
Would you say then, like, I know obviously we're going to go into the film itself, but, like, because obviously he has to fight the bad guys in this movie, he's potentially killing criminals, like the people who are attacking him. Does he not go to jail straight at the end of this movie and do another 10 years? Or
yeah, because he's basically just done the same thing.
Done the same thing, yeah. He's not learnt his lesson.
He's still killing criminals.
From on a piece of paper, he looks like he's been, okay, you're released now. Hold on, you've just killed a plane full of people. Yes, they're criminals, but you still committed murder.
Yeah, just technically that is true.
Well, given his sentence, that would make sense.
Another 10 years.
Like, I also didn't understand, like, it, it's for the story, but yeah, and he's also like a model citizen. They do this long montage.
He's got no priors or anything.
There's this like massive jail riot happening at one point, and he's just like in his cell writing a letter to his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like prepping for this film throughout that montage. He's doing handstand push-ups. He's doing this lotus pose that he holds himself up in. He's, putting in the work.
I think I already know the answer, but I would love to know if that was actually Nicolas Cage doing that.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we find out that he's going to be on this flight to take him to wherever he's going to. I don't know why he needs to be flown somewhere to be released, but I mean, that's what's
Yeah,
going to
I've
happen.
no idea.
So they have this like big this scene where they're going to announce everybody that's on this flight. And I think
little fact files.
Yeah, because at this point we meet our like legal people. We meet John Cusack playing Larkin, the federal marshal, and Colm Meaney, who is the DEA agent. Because they're trying to. There's going to be somebody on this flight that they want to get some information out of, and so they're going to put a secret agent also on the flight. And so they have a scene where John Cusack is telling them all the names of these people, and then, cut with them coming off the plane. So we've got Cyrus the Virus, who's John Malkovich. I honestly don't remember what these people's crimes were. I think murder of some sort, like he's big bad murderer. There's Ving Rhames playing Diamond Dog. I can't remember what his real name is. And then there's a third guy. So the three of them are going to be in these like special cages. Little sidebar. Whenever I was in ninth grade, my English teacher told us about show, don't tell. And it's just like stuck. I always think of this whenever I am evaluating stories that I watch. And this is very much a tell, not show. Like it's we're not going to give the audience the benefit of the doubt. We're not going to like through their interactions learn who these people are. We're just going to have one character shouting at the screen who everybody is and what their backstory is. And you know what, though? In this case, works for me. I know it's not good writing by any means, but it amuses me because it is of the rest of this film.
It doesn't take long. They don't hang about. They're already escaping before the plane is even lifted off. And my issue is, why does the pilot leave the cockpit? Because if he didn't leave that cockpit, none of this would happen. It's like, what do you think you're going to be able to add to this situation that the marshals haven't already done?
Sure. There are a lot of missteps. To be sure. Also, recall, this is pre 9/11 time, so people, I think, were less aware of keeping the cockpit protected.
Closed off, yeah.
But there's, like, this plane has several layers of protection, and they just, like, forego it all to, like, because they think they're going to be able to handle it, and, spoiler, they cannot.
I wrote down how Colm Meaney's character, that they introduced him basically as like evil straight away by having him park in the disabled bay.
Yes.
It's like, that's literally his introduction, and you're like, well, he's not nice straight away.
And it's like a little, like a midlife crisis kind of car with a license plate that says AZZKIKR.
What do you think of like the different types of villains that are in it? Like, because you've got obviously, like, was it that Johnny 23 Malkovich character? You had, I remember the blonde guy. You were like, who's that guy with the blonde hair? You had like one line. Nat.
Oh yeah, I think he comes in the second lot of convicts.
Did they have their own sort of personalities, do you think, or were they a bit all like one-dimensional kind of villains?
A lot of them were one-dimensional. I mean, the Steve Buscemi character was probably one of my... Well, obviously we'll get to that later on, but I think he was one of my favourites. Obviously, the Ving Rhames, John Malkovich, and probably the guy that literally was like their driver, who is also picked up in this second lot, which he flew the plane, he drove the truck at the end, he was their wheels, basically, for getting around. Those were, like, probably my main I mean, yeah, obviously Danny Trejo as Johnny 23, he was memorable.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it's quite hard to try and make like these characters, because they're all obviously villains and they all want their own personality traits, to make a film like this? Because you don't know, because obviously they've all got to be angry and rather than muscle heads. You've got the smart one, you've got the weird one, but do you think it works in the dynamic of they all get amount of screen time each, or is there just like too many, like this is this character, this is this character? Do you think there's too much of that going on with this film, or does it have a good set amount of
I do think there's too
villains?
many that are trying to vie for like the main baddie sort of thing.
Look, for me, I think I like it because it contributes to how over the top the film is. Like it's
Yeah.
just amped up. But yeah, they're all sort of one note, but like different one notes.
When they left the second stop, there'd just been like a massive shootout. And then a passenger plane, because this is quite a big plot to the film, a passenger plane takes off literally like within a few minutes, and you feel like they would have seen all the police that was around this airfield and maybe heard some gunshots, but they take off. Somebody manages to take out the flight box from the plane that the cons are on and puts it into this little plane, so that then the police are tracking the wrong plane.
Yeah, and that's how Pinball gets killed, because he hears the plane start to go, and then he goes running for the plane, and he's like keeping up with the plane for quite a bit. Like he knocks on the window, and then the dude that he set on fire sees him, and he's like, ha.
Yeah, and I just thought that he'd fallen over, and that would have been the last we saw of him. Like they'd have taken off without him. I wasn't expecting him to see him like mangled up in the wheels later.
I remember, I mean, near that point, I think me and Nat, I don't know for you, Nat, but for me definitely, I was like, the whole stuff not on the plane, all the other bits with the detectives, I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're trying to do. Like, they're talking, but I don't know what their plan is. I don't know what's happening.
I was just amazed that obviously the bad detective goes off in the helicopters chasing the wrong plane, and then John Cusack drives. Somehow his car is faster than the plane getting to wherever the next destination is.
Well, he steals the other guy's car, and so...
Yeah, but still, I don't think a sports car's gonna beat a plane.
Outrun a plane, yeah. Well, the main thing you kept saying that was the helicopters.
Yeah, that's it. They had these like the skinniest helicopters I've ever seen, and I was just amazed. There was like one main helicopter, and then these other helicopters looked like they'd been like sandwiched in like a garbage crusher. And to me, that was just like amazing. I kept saying to her, I was like, "How are these helicopters so skinny?"
But what did you think of like Nick Cage as playing the hero character? Do you think he sold it well? Were you rooting for him throughout? Was you kind of like...
They offered it to Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell first.
Oh really? And they're like,
and they said they didn't
really?
like the script, and so then they asked Nicolas Cage, apparently, according to trivia.
Look, like whether or not this was the first of these Nicolas Cage movies, Nicolas Cage has become known for sort of these over the top acting, roles, and I think what he's like at the time, I don't think he was known for that. He had few years previously won the Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas and was doing kind of action films, but I don't think he was doing these sort of like what we come to know as of Nick Cage roles, where he's like kind of a little bit unhinged.
I thought he was good in it. His accent
I did too.
Was jarring, but I thought he was decent in it, yeah.
It's like when he's asking who you could trust me, and he's like, there's only two people I trust, myself and myself. It's like, what?
There is a lot of one-liners, yeah.
He does do a good job. I feel like the bunny scene when he's down in the...
This is probably my favourite scene.
He goes down there and that other guy follows him, right? Because he's seeing what he's doing. I can't remember what happens down there, but they have a fight.
The guy's got the bunny and he's going to like throw it out the window or something, and he's just like, put the bunny in the box.
Put the bunny back in the box.
You should have put the bunny back in the box.
Yeah. The bunny comes up again because whenever Cyrus figures out that he's not who he thinks he is, Cyrus has like a gun to the bunny out the window.
That's hilarious. I'm like, the bunny is not that important, guys. The bunny is not sentient. It's okay if he shoots the bunny. You can get her another bunny. I mean, when he gives it to her in the end, it doesn't look that great anyway.
She's like, I'm alright, thank you.
Yeah. They guilt trip her into taking that bunny.
Take the goddamn bunny. Okay.
But so now we've had these two scenes where they've landed, and there's been like big fights at both scenes, big showdowns, and they get on the air again, and it seems very much like it's going to end at this point. And much like Dave said, when I saw this film too, I was like, oh, it should have ended, but no, we get the scene in the Vegas Strip, and so from the attack from the marshals and the army and police and whoever at the boneyard where they had last landed. The plane is in bad shape, and they can't land the plane safely. They gotta crash it through the Vegas Strip. Who cares who dies with this plane just like crash landing in the Vegas Strip with tons. There's all these like silly things where like,
oh, the slot machine. I totally called that before it happened. I was like, it's gonna nudge a casino machine, and it's gonna get like a jackpot, and then all the money's gonna come out, and it literally happened. I was like, I should have wrote this movie.
There's one point that there's just like dollar bills flying through the air. Mm-hmm. My favorite part is at one point Cyrus and Poe are fighting in the belly of the ship, and a propeller gets knocked off, and it slices clean through the plane, and like between the two of them, completely misses them. It just through the body.
Do you know why? Do you know why they did that?
No.
To prove that God is on his side, because he was like, I'm going to prove to you, God is going to help us. Because when his friend is dying, he's like, I don't know if I believe in God right now. And he's like, I'll prove to you that God is going to be helping us. So God intervened, and just before he was going to get shot, he spun the propeller and it flew through the plane. And he's like, he should have looked back and went, I told you so. Meanwhile, his friend's like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
But his poor friend, like the 3/4 of the film has been like almost ready to go into a diabetic coma. They finally get insulin into him, and then like very shortly after he gets shot. Because
I was going to say, like, Johnny 23 is a casualty of the plane crash, isn't he? Because he's in a cell. Somehow along the way they've got him in on his own in a cell after he tries to, I think, rape the female officer again, and then somebody comes in to remove his body, and his arm is still attached to like the ceiling. So I was like, but how is he still standing up in the cell then? If his arm's not attached.
Yeah, he should have just fallen, right?
But yeah, I did like that scene.
So then we get like they get off of the plane, and they start
quickly commandeer a fire truck.
Yeah. So Poe and who else escapes? Was it Ving Rhames or was it the pilot guy?
The pilot guy, because he starts driving the fire truck.
And there's like a big chase, which ends up with Poe grabbing onto the ladder at the back of the fire truck. It all ends up with Cyrus the Virus getting, like, he's on the ladder, which runs into like a bridge that overruns a road. So he gets hit there and like down on the ground, and you're like, oh, that would definitely kill him because he's had this major trauma. But no. His head ends up in this like crushing
machine. Yeah.
And you just see this thing come down and crush his head. So there's like no question that he is completely dead.
He isn't coming back for the sequel.
No. And then for some reason they bring the wife and kid to this, like potentially
this was all gonna go tits up, and then they're like, no, we'll bring him just in case.
To wrap up then, but like we did in the last film, did people have like a favorite action set piece in this film? I know you guys didn't like it as much, but was there anything that like stood out for you as like a fun action scene?
So my favorite bit was with the character Sally Can't Dance, which was the guy in the dress. He's punching his way through all these characters, Nicolas Cage, I'm saying, to get to the pilot, I think. And then Sally Can't Dance comes up to him, and then he grabs his hand, goes to raise his fist, then he switches it and just slaps him in the face, and then carries on. And he's like, ah! And I was like, perfect, that was amazing. So that was a nice little comical moment.
Nat, was there anything you enjoyed?
Probably the skinny helicopters.
Just...
Honestly, just them chasing after like this poor little defenseless passenger plane, ready to like blow it out of the sky, and then realizing, because they like nearly collide with it, because for some reason they get in front of it and then are gonna like head-on collision over the top of like a mountain range. But yeah, probably the helicopter chase stuff.
Abort!
Yeah.
My favorite, I think, was the whole Vegas, like, because at this point, there's been so many action scenes. You're like, oh, that's got to be like that last one was so big. That's got to be it. And they were like, no, we got a little bit more in the tank. We're gonna do this Vegas showdown at the end that is just like insanity. Like it doesn't need to be there, but we're gonna do it anyway.
My favorite character was Steve Buscemi. I like that scene, like you say. I think it would be the same for my favorite scene. That whole scene with him and the little girl, and just the tension of that scene. It was like so out of character to the rest of the film, where I feel like that was just like superfluous, like action and like movie. But that one could have been completely taken out and put into like a proper thriller. That one scene. So yeah, that was like. I'll combine them both together. My favourite scene and my favourite character, Steve Buscemi. My worst character I've put as the pilot, because I'm like, if he didn't come out of the cockpit to literally be no help at all, and in fact make it worse by bringing a gun into the situation, then this movie wouldn't have even happened. I know it had to happen for the story, but he was just useless.
I think character I didn't like was John Cusack. Sorry. I don't feel like that subplot line did much. I feel like it could have just stayed all in the... Or, I mean, you needed a little bit of that, I think, of obviously the police trying to find out where the plane's going, so it's not just the plane, but I feel like there was too much stuff going on and trying to create some kind of story. I was just like, every time it cut to those, that would have been like the end scene in Two Towers, where I'd be like, get back to Helm's Deep. So like, I would have skipped all that if I watched it again. But I just feel like his stuff, I was like, I'm not really that interested in. But characters, yeah, I think I like John Malkovich. He was really nice, just because he was just like.
He was really nice.
He was really good. He was really like when he's like on the phone. He's like, I don't want to talk to that man again. When he's trying to talk to the policeman.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, he was just good. He was a good character. He knew the role. He knew what kind of character it was, and just went from there.
Yeah, I think for me, I think I liked John Malkovich too. I kind of like he's much like Elijah Wood, one of those actors that picks kind of interesting roles and always does something kind of memorable with it. For me, the least favorite, I thought the Cole Meany character could have been I think they could have merged John Cusack and Cole Meany into like one thing. I didn't think they needed that whole DEA storyline, which we didn't even talk about because it was like so muddled within everything else. There was like a guy that the DEA wanted evidence out of, and
yeah, that totally wasn't needed, that plot.
Let's get everybody's final scores on this one. Nat?
I am going to give it 2.5 limes out of 5.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it wasn't my favourite film. I've seen it once. I will probably never see it again.
Only time we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Once we finish this podcast, I'm going to, like, Men in Black, remove it from my mind.
I think, like, a 2. I just think it... I don't know how long. Was it like an hour and a half? I can't remember how. It just felt like
it was 2 hours.
It was
2 hours. Yeah, it did not need to be 2 hours. Like the stopping the plane, going back up again, getting some more prisoners in, going up. It was just a lot of like, okay, oh no, we've got to fight loads. I thought a good place to end it would have been during the police like army raid in the like airplane graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been... I know like Las Vegas was supposed to be like the big ending kind of thing, but at the end of the day, it was just like a bike chase, and then that was it. I feel like if they made it more interesting at this like airplane graveyard, that could have been a good ending for it all.
So for me, somebody that generally does not like action films, I thoroughly enjoy this. I still really enjoyed it. I'm giving it a 4. Like, I would watch this again in a heartbeat. It was so silly and ridiculous. This is what I want out of an action film. I don't want a serious, dour action film. I want all the writers on coke, like figuring out what they can do to up them, the ante at every step. Just like, Vegas, yeah, baby, we're gonna destroy it. But for myself, I was really happy that this stood up for me because, again, like I said starting out, it was something that I have fond memories of, and I'm glad that I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Will everybody enjoy it? probably not. But maybe some of you out there will enjoy it, so maybe give it a watch. It's on like Disney Hulu right now that you can do it low stakes watch. So we're continuing next week with another summer blockbuster. It's going to be Dave's pick. Dave, do you have any hints for us? Or are you
No, you're
still
getting. I'm tight.
figuring out?
That's
I'm
because
not
he
telling
hasn't
you
picked
nothing.
one, not because he's
I
being
have.
tight-lipped.
I've picked one. You getting nothing off me.
I mean, we'll have to get something because I've got to watch the film.
Yeah.
No surprise.
I don't know if Natalie and I can go without having watched it next time.
We're surprising it. I'm not telling nothing.
Well, we'll see you next time then.
Yeah. All right. See you then. Bye.
No, I get to say the goodbyes because I'm
You're hosting.
I'm the leader.
Yeah.
Got him.
So thanks for joining us again. We'll catch you next time on Two Limes and a Lemon. Say goodbye, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.